I'm going to show you what happens to your body when you stop eating sugar. And I want you to really pay attention to this because it's not just about losing weight, it's also about having high energy. It's about clarity of mind, and it's about preventing disease. You know, there's so many people out there that are addicted to sugar, and they don't even know it. They think that, oh, it's okay, I can have a little bit of sugar or some fruit juice or honey or agave nectar or maple syrup or coconut sugar. It's all the same. No, it's not the same. Even though it's called sugar, they're actually different types of sugars. We're talking about specifically added sugar. And if you take out all the hidden sources of sugar, which is in condiments, which is in salad dressings, which is in ketchup, which is in barbecue sauce, which is in bread, which is in crackers, cereal, biscuits, waffles, pancakes, sodas, juice, sweetened tea, alcohol and candy bars. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. If you took all of that sugar out of your diet, here's what would happen to your body. Now, in 1 week, within the first 3 days, probably by the time you're 36 hours without sugar, you're going to feel great. You're going to have zero cravings. But for other people, depending on how long they've been eating sugar, it could be anywhere from 5 to 7 days before they no longer have cravings. But after 3 days, your blood sugar will become more stable. What does that mean? It means you are not going to have these wild swings in your blood sugar where you eat something with sugar, right? And then your blood sugar spikes, and then it crashes, and then you have this fatigue, and you want to take a nap. So your blood sugar will become more stable, meaning your energy will become more stable. So you won't have these wild swings in your energy. Now, if you're exercising at the same time, cutting out sugar, and doing keto and intermittent fasting, you're going to lose a lot of weight. You're going to feel better. You're going to have less inflammation. You're going to have better skin. By the way, if you're not exercising when you cut out sugar, you're still going to have all those benefits I just mentioned, but you're going to lose a lot less weight. Now, by the end of the first week, you're going to have normal bowel movements. A lot of people have diarrhea when they're consuming sugar. They might not even realize it's from the sugar, but it is. Also, you'll have zero inflammation in your gut, and you'll have less bloating. Now, between week 1 and week 2, here's what happens. Your insulin will become more sensitive. So this is very interesting because when you consume sugar, your body releases insulin, and then that insulin allows the sugar to go into the cells. But when you have too much sugar, you start getting this resistance to insulin, meaning the cells just don't want to take up the sugar anymore. And so that's why your blood sugar stays high. That's why you get diabetes. Well, guess what happens when you stop consuming sugar? Your cells start to become more sensitive to insulin again. So insulin becomes more effective at helping the sugar go into the cells. So you're going to have a normalization of insulin, which means you're going to have a normalization of blood sugar. So it's very important that you understand that there's this communication system between food and your hormones, and it's very important that you stabilize your blood sugar. And if you do that, you'll have more stable energy, you'll lose weight, you'll have a decreased risk of getting cancer, a decreased risk of getting Alzheimer's disease. You'll have a decreased risk of getting heart disease, stroke, dementia, and a whole bunch of other chronic degenerative diseases. All right. At the end of week 2, your cravings are gone. They're not going to come back. You may have a craving here and there, but it's never going to be like that intense craving that you had before. You also are going to find that your brain fog is going away. Your thinking is going to become clearer. And this is due to the fact that your blood sugar is becoming more stable. Remember, your brain runs off of blood sugar. In fact, 20% of all the blood sugar that you consume goes directly to your brain. So if your blood sugar is all over the place, your brain is going to be all over the place. So you're going to have this clear thinking. You're going to have the ability to focus in and actually get things done instead of feeling like you're living in a fog. Another thing that's going to happen is your memory is going to improve. You're going to remember things better because, again, your blood sugar is going to be more stable. By the end of week 2, your taste is going to improve. You're going to notice that salty, savory flavors taste better than sweet. This is because when you consume sugar, it numbs your taste buds. So everything starts to taste bland because you have to put more salt on it. And that's why we're told to eat salty foods when we're consuming sugar because it brings out the flavor. But you don't need salt when you're not consuming sugar. And you're going to notice that the natural sweet taste in your mouth is going to return. You know, I used to have this all the time when I was consuming sugar. I would have this terrible sweet taste in my mouth, and I would just want to keep eating sugar to keep that sweet taste. But now that I've been off sugar for quite some time, that sweet taste is gone, and I don't crave it anymore. And it's just interesting how our body adapts. By the 3rd week, your endurance is going to improve. If you're exercising, you're going to be able to run longer. You're going to be able to lift heavier weights. You're going to be stronger. You're going to have more endurance, and your overall athletic performance is going to go up. So if you're not exercising, don't expect any of these benefits I just talked about. Now let me tell you something else that's going to happen to your body when you stop eating sugar. And this is really interesting. The friendly bacteria in your gut are going to start to grow. Okay, so you have this microbiome in your gut, trillions of bacteria, and guess what? Most of them are good bacteria, and there's only a few bad ones that cause disease. But when you consume sugar, especially the fructose from the fruit juice, it feeds the bad bacteria and it causes an overgrowth of this unfriendly bacteria, which then causes a leaky gut, which then generates inflammation, which then leads to autoimmune problems, which then leads to allergies, which then leads to asthma, etc. So when you stop eating sugar, those good bacteria start to grow, and that unfriendly bacteria starts to die off. Another thing that's going to happen is you're going to have less hunger. This is because when you eat sugar, it actually suppresses ghrelin, which is a hormone that tells us we're hungry. So when you eat sugar, it shuts down ghrelin. So you're not going to be hungry. So when you're doing keto, you're not eating sugar, you're not eating carbohydrates, and you're taking in fat, your hunger is going to be completely gone. You're not going to be hungry anymore. And a lot of people like that. Another thing that's going to happen when you stop eating sugar, your metabolism is going to return to normal. You see, when you eat sugar, your metabolism changes. You become a diabetic. You become insulin resistant. So your metabolism slows down. But when you stop eating sugar, your metabolism returns to normal. So if you haven't seen this video right here, go ahead and click on it and check it out.